morning, everybody. This morning we had to make a vet call for Pepper. Pepper calved April 9th, and she kind of went downhill over the weekend. I mean, she's pretty dehydrated, and see, she's not wanting to eat her feed. So we had the vet come this morning, and she has a twisted stomach. So we're gonna do a surgery. Well, the vet will do a surgery. I'll just watch.
Like now it's like 28 degrees out.
Yeah, that too. Like you just never know what the weather's gonna do. Like I had one window to give my horse a bath, and of course I missed it, and now she's a mud fiend. So yeah, like I don't know how people expect show animals to show out here.
Yeah, I know.
It's such a thing.
Yeah, that was our 4-year-old. He was riding a horse, what, day before yesterday?
Yeah.
And he come off the horse and because he had like sweatpants.
Oh.
So we took him off the horse then, and his whole butt was just, he looked like he had fur.
I thought about it too. I had just a hot second of time yesterday before I had to go out on a call, and I was like, maybe I'll just hop on. And then I started brushing her, and I'm like, no. I'm gonna be so gross after if I do a bareback ride right now.
So what causes a DA?
Anything and everything.
Yeah.
DAs are always because of something else.
Sure, yep.
So that's a good question. I like how you phrase that. It's usually, fresh cow, you might want to twist her tail. She might not like this. Give her little tail back. It could be as simple as just a little sore foot.
Oh, really? Okay.
You see that more in freestyle cows. But anything that causes them to go off feed.
Oh, okay.
So, respiratory problems. I know, girl. I didn't give you any sedation because I thought you were going to be good. Uterus causes them, infection.
Oh, really?
They get a
Okay.
fever, and then they just don't feel good, and they don't want to eat. Hard calving. Anything metabolic, like, if they did have milk fever right off the bat.
Sure.
And they don't get off to eating very good right after they calve.
Okay.
Or if they don't clean, uterus, and then they don't eat, and metabolic, then that's kind of a trifecta of horrible.
Okay.
But anything that causes them to not eat, kind of like that Jersey that we did a long time ago. She was dry and due to calve, and calve like 2 days later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that was, what I always grew up with. It was always something that happened after they calved.
Right. Right. And that's, in school you're taught that. Like, DAs happen after they calve. And that's usually true. 99% of the time it is true.
Sure, yep.
Because that's usually when cows have other problems. But that dry cow, for some reason, went off feed. And that allows the stomach space, the abomasum space, to flip over to the other side.
Sure, okay.
If the rumen isn't full.
That Jersey, while you were in there, you could have just taken the calf out too.
At that point, if I had known, I would have been like, sure. Yeah, C-section and DA all at once. There are some vets out there that will, if they're doing a C-section on a dairy cow, they will tack the abomasum.
Oh, sure.
But most of the time, A, I'm exhausted after a C-section, and B, I can't reach the abomasum because we do the C-section on the left side.
Oh, yep.
So you can't reach the abomasum. Back in the day, they used to tack the stomach to the bottom, so they do a left approach, grab the DA or the abomasum, throw a stitch in it, and then sink it to the bottom of her belly.
Oh,
that was kind of a classic way to fix them. Kind of like a roll and toggle, but doing it surgically. I can't reach the cows usually. They're too big. Like maybe a Jersey, but not a girl like this. I know, sweetheart. I know.
Yeah, it seems like with animals, there's nothing. You can't be surprised at anything.
Yeah, that was the one thing when I first started here. John and Natalie were like, these are the weird things that happen. And then they listed off a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, we never were taught that in school. Like, I had no idea. So, yeah, definitely not your typical. But yeah, so DAs are always because something else. And, you know, ketosis doesn't always happen with a DA. I've cut plenty of cows that aren't ketotic. But usually they go hand in hand because, like I said, they've been off feed.
Sure,
Something
yeah.
caused them to quit eating. So they're now super empty and hungry.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if we get inside this girl and she's super empty. Just judging by her eyes how sunken they are.
Yeah.
She's a bit dehydrated.
Because we've been just our corn silage and hay we've been mixing, you know, and then they get a grain. Well, then
Yeah.
she wasn't really eating that, so then I just started feeding, well, both these two here, just straight dry hay, and then they were
Good.
kind of munching on that for a while, but now
Yeah.
she kind of gave up on that too, you know.
And sometimes they do that. They'll go for one thing out of the mix.
Yeah.
And usually it's hay, but I can't, you know, again, guarantee it. But
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
the time when they're not feeling the greatest, they'll just go for hay. Now, there is an exception to DAs, too, besides cutting a dry cow. There is nutritional reasons why they go off feed. We actually have a farm that's going through this right now. They've got super, super high butyric acid
Okay.
in their haylage. They just switched from second to third cutting, and they put it up really well, but unfortunately it's super, super hot. So their cows, like overnight, become severely ketotic,
Really?
have really bad rumen acidosis, go off feed. Like, I literally looked at 2 cows for him one day, and literally the next day they were like in the tank, off feed, looked horrible, and it just happens really, really quickly. And that is kind of an exception, saying that nutrition caused the DA.
Oh, yep, yep.
Because they're because the feed's not, you know, is super high in butyric acid. But again, people would argue that, oh, well, they went off feed.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
like, well, they didn't really, because they're still eating.
Yeah,
But they're not eating good feed.
yeah.
So there's an exception to that rule, for sure. But yeah, you guys.
That's what we were talking about, 'cause we knew she was starting to get dehydrated, and we were
Yeah.
saying how we were thinking we should invest in one of those, like the pumps with the tube.
Do it.
Yeah.
Because half the time, like medically managing cows like you have already, and then if they start going off feed and their eyes get really sunken, then I say stomach pump them even just with water. Like,
Yep.
it fills up that rumen and keeps it from flipping to the other side, because there's, you know, no space for it to go.
Yep.
The rumen is full, so it keeps the stomach full. And
Yeah, so that's it. We were looking online at those this morning. I'm like, yeah, let's get one of those.
they're expensive, but I tell people, like, look at this call. Like, mileage, you know, you guys called early, so it's, you know, base rate mileage, but, you know, DA surgery, antibiotics,
Yo.
you could have paid for it.
Yeah.
1 cow. So if you can prevent it in the future.
Well, that's what I told him. I'm like, yeah, no, Dr. Jordy had a mix. She gave him, like, we have one of those. I'm like, we could call and be like, what should we put in it besides water or something?
Yeah, it's, well, I don't have any right now because I used it up yesterday. But, it's YMCP. It's a really good fresh cow electrolyte. It has a lot of the basic minerals like calcium, magnesium, phosphorus that they need initially, but it also has some really good probiotics in it that kind of help fortify the gut, encourage it to have good gut microbes in there to keep it going. And some farms even just offer it right after they calve.
Oh, yep.
Just free choice. Mix a bucket of it up and away you go. But
yeah, I know there was something, because before she was really starting to go downhill, she was hitting something up at the mineral feeder, and I don't know if it was the bicarb or the salt or mineral.
And that's just it too. I'm glad you have free choice bicarb, because that, you know, that can help settle their stomach to some extent too. For these girls that don't feel good for whatever reason. Chris,
we did have the heifer that didn't agree with the stall, hence why your airline PVC is all taped
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I had to break out the Gorilla Tape
Yeah.
one morning.
Do you like that stuff better than like regular duct tape?
You know, I don't know. I just picked up a roll of it. I don't even remember why I needed white tape for something I was doing, and they had it in white, so I picked it up, and it seems to stick good.
Okay.
I've actually even, a couple things outside, I've used the flex tape.
Oh, yeah.
You see the commercials?
Yeah.
Where my grain auger goes into the feed tank. It's just I had to seal that gap, so
Yeah.
I bought some of that, and I'll tell you, that stuff, it's got like, you peel the plastic off, and it's got like a glue.
Double-sided sticky tape almost?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a glue underneath there, and that
Okay.
stuff seems to really
Good to
hold
know.
well too. But
'Cause
that stuff you kind of have to. There's no second chance when it puts it on and you
don't get to
take
pull
it off and try to
Yeah,
move it.
yep. That's good to know. One chance and done.
The duct tape, it seems like that depends a lot on what brand. There's so
Yeah.
many different. You know, like the Gorilla Tape is Gorilla Tape and Flex Tape is Flex Tape,
But yeah, the duct tapes, there's
like
so
if you
many
get
duct
like a
tapes out there.
3M brand, it's probably really good. But if you pick up a
The cheap
Dollar
off
General brand or something, you know, it
Yeah.
might not stick as well, you know.
That is a very good point. Or it tears real easy, you know?
Yeah.
You're gonna be good. I hope you're gonna be good. I didn't give you any drugs if you didn't want to. I didn't think you needed them. Do you want to give her another
Yeah.
twist just to give you something to think about? I know we're off. You're fine. I know. Well, I don't really know. I've never had surgery. But definitely.
You probably know.
Yeah, I know.
I was gonna say.
And I really know because I felt everything on one side.
Did you have a C-section?
I had a C-section, yeah.
And they didn't block it?
They blocked it, but I don't take anesthetic well.
Oh no!
So I could feel everything to the left of my belly button.
Oh no! And they say women don't get pain.
Yeah, because they had to fully knock me out then, because I'm like, I can feel everything you're doing.
Shoot, and the anesthesiologist is like,
well,
that's not good.
Yeah, well, that was the doctor. He had a student with him.
Oh yeah.
And then, yeah, the anesthesiologist is like, you know what? Let's just do this on a different person and let's just get this done.
Oh. Let's not use her as the teaching model.
Exactly.
I've definitely done that too when we have students. It's like, let me step in and I'll finish this because this isn't going how it's supposed to. It's not a good learning opportunity for you. Yeah, definitely over there. Not very big. Her room is full.
Really?
Yeah, like she was eating. So thankfully we don't have to pump her, but I think, maybe a bottle of hypertonic saline would give her some encouragement to drink some more and get hydrated. But yeah, there's no room in here.
Yeah.
Just kept packing it in.
Yep. And it's moving, so that's good too. And that's something that will happen sometimes where they'll go off feed for a day, the stomach will flip, then they feel better for a little bit, and they're like, oh, I'll just start eating again.
That's kind of what she did.
Yeah.
Especially if you give her, the propylene like you did.
Yep.
Sometimes they're like, oh, yeah.
Well, then we put her on those rockets or whatever, and then you gave her vitamin B too.
yeah.
Yep, that too. Yeah, all of that. It was good. I would never say don't do it again. Just definitely do that. It just must have made her feel good enough that
To eat a little bit more.
very full. And that would explain why it was hard to hear yours.
Now she's got that Thanksgiving dinner feeling like, oh, I ate too much.
Exactly.
It's not moving.
And my tummy's not where it's supposed to be anyways. Yeah, you guys definitely made the right call to have us out.
She said her heartbeat was really erratic too. So she recommended putting a magnet in her.
Oh, really? Okay.
Thanks for remembering that. Yeah, it's very inconsistent and irregular, and actually rather fast for.
Yeah, because we came in here, she was just laying down.
For not doing anything. Like, I'd understand if we chased her all over the pasture and I had to get her in here then. Put her tail down and see how she did. Like this. Your viewers are gonna be like, what the heck are you guys doing?
The YouTube censor is gonna be like, oh, was there anything graphic in this?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, not intentionally, it's natural, right?
So I'm like, well, it's for educational purposes.
Yeah. There we go. Good, good. You want to see it. That's the edge of the stomach right there.
Oh, okay.
Just the edge that we're going to attack
Yep.
the pylorus. But that's all fat that's attached to it, so we grab the fat and bring it over. Since you've been in the social media world for a bit, you probably know the Tillamook dairy farmer.
Yep, Derek Josie.
Yeah.
I love him.
He's practically in my backyard from where I'm from.
Oh, okay.
And I got to meet him a couple of times at different dairy functions, and I love that he's blunt and honest, so we don't have to be.
Yeah.
If I, have somebody that's turned off about farming and especially dairy, I send them to his page and I'm like, this is how it is. He lays it out there. He's very honest but blunt about it. But it's just so the world knows the truth, and he just doesn't care. Should have had you film Natalie do this. She's very pretty when she does surgeries. She's got such a finesse to her. Me, I'm just kind of. What do you say?
We had Natalie on video doing pregnancy checks, and our chute has this bar that's like right here.
Okay.
And everyone's like, we were just waiting to see her just hit her head like every time.
I'm not too bad with like chutes in the back. Like if there's a bar or if it's short for some reason, it's the handles on the side that always get me.
Oh yeah.
Like literally the chute job I had on Friday, like they had the squeeze side, they had a squeeze to their chute, and the squeeze handle, I walked by it 30 times, and half of the times I bumped my head on it, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Alright, so you guys do have some dextrose then?
Yeah, we have a bottle of that.
Okay. You could start her on XNL if you'd like.
Okay.
For antibiotic, or we could do straight Polyflex.
I have that too.
Okay. Up to you. And I wouldn't be surprised now that this is back where it should be and she gets under control with her ketosis. She could be milking. I hope bounces back and look real good. But yeah, so dextrose and I have hypertonic. Do you have some of that?
We have some saline, don't we?
I think this bottle's up in the pump house yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I would give her some just to try and encourage her to drink real good today. Like somebody down there.
Yeah.
And then, 5 days of XNL for her, and continue with the propylene tomorrow.
Okay.
B vitamins as needed. Her manure isn't bad. It's a little stiff, but that's not surprising after not moving stuff through her gut that well. I think that'll improve on its own.
No, I got a full bottle of Xnil. I haven't even opened yet. And then I
Good.
said I got dextrose, and I know we've got saline, so
Perfect.
so we should be good to go there.
Okay. Yeah, that would be a good point for her. Standing on the in between the two of them, and then I turned around to listen to her, and she all of a sudden went, "Oh!" I was standing right here, and then Jennifer's like, "Oh, it's because we've been poking her so much lately." Oh, that makes sense. Good girl. Got it. Maybe not. Just doing more blood.
We're back in here. We went too far. There.
Got it. There we go. Yep, still in the vein. Still good. Okay, so we got all of her meds in her that the vet recommended. She got a calcium pill, her antibiotic, dextrose, some saline, and so we'll just let her be now and let her rest, and hopefully here she'll be starting to feel better.